Okay, new chapter is going to be about proportional relationships. And the very beginning of a proportional relationship is learning how to write a rate. A rate and a unit rate are two different things. They are used very similarly. If Riley is going to throw 4 parties in 3 weeks, the rate would be 4 to 2. The unit rate would be how many parties in 1 week, 1 unit. Okay, 1 unit of time, something like that. So if Riley was going to throw 4 parties in 2 weeks, what would his unit rate be?
4.
2 parties in 1 week, so it would be 2 over 1. Okay, so we always list rates and ratios as a fraction. In elementary school, they told you there were 3 ways to do it. But to actually function it in math, we need to list it as a fraction because that's a division problem. So they had you do 4 to 2, or they had you do 4 to 2, or they had you do this one, 4 colon 2. Do you remember any of this?
Yeah.
Okay, you've seen these notations before. We are going to focus on the one we use in an equation, the fraction. Okay, so everything's going to be listed as a fraction. And everybody in here can read.
Yeah.
I've seen you do it. Okay, so first question we're going to do, the first example. They're almost all written as word problems. So it says Sonia. Heartbeat. 675 times in 5 minutes. Write a ratio describing this beat, this situation. Okay, so the first thing we do, steps. Do not write the problem, okay? Read it. I don't want you to write all those words. Even though I wrote that up there, that's because you can't see it. It's on your worksheet. You can't see it on the overhead, so I wrote it up there. I want you to read the problem and understand what you're reading. Step 2, draw a fraction line.
Miss Lincoln, we can't see the steps.
Okay. Step 3. First number you read is the numerator. First number I read, oh, there it is. I'm going to put it in the numerator spot. Second number you read is the denominator. What's always the last step with fractions?
Repeat if necessary. Do the work. Reduce.
Reduce, not repeat. Reduce if necessary, right? Reduce. Can we reduce 675 over 5? We can reduce by 5, right? Oops. Okay, so it would be,
135.
seriously?
Yeah.
Thank you. Really?
No, 135.
Yeah, okay. 135 over 1. That turned into a unit rate. Anything over 1 is a unit rate. There is one major exception, and this is the one time when they write the word problems that they might try to trick you. Money. If it is money, money is always on top, even if they list it second. $1 for 3 cans of peas.
dollar would be on top. I remember
Right,
that from last
but
year.
usually at grocery store ads, they say 3 cans for $1, right? So they wrote it backwards. Money always goes on top, always, always, always. Yes, sir.
What if it was like money and
Usually that will not happen. It's a very unusual situation. It's money for something, or for some things. Okay, it's usually not trading money for money unless you're doing exchange rate, and that's on the economy, and then it would depend how the problem was written. We will never do exchange rate in 7th grade. Okay. Yep.
The last step.
Yep, reduce if necessary. Reduce if necessary. Okay, so we're going to practice a couple of these. Turn over to page 152. I'm going to do number 1. We're going to go around the room and see if you guys can do them. Ready?
What page again?
one what?
Number 1 says, a faucet leaks 668 milliliters. That's the first number I came across, right? 668 of water in 8 minutes. How many milliliters does the faucet leak per minute? So what does it want me to divide by?
8.
8. So 8 will go into 66 8 times. 8 will go into 28 3 times.
Yeah.
.5. 83.5. That is a unit rate problem because they ask per minute. Normally they don't do that the first time. Anybody notice anything unusual about my answer?
Okay.
What do you notice?
That there's a 0.5 on the end.
You can have a decimal in a unit rate. Okay? That is possible. It is unusual. We're not used to seeing fractions like that, but we can.
When they're
Okay.
over 1, do we still have